What's up guys, it's time for tennis. So I'm going to get into a quick conversation about why I'm going to be selling my VCORE 98 Plus. So I switched to extended length rackets a while ago, a few years ago actually, and the options in the extended length world are pretty limited. So every time there is a racket out there that is extended length and kind of fits that tweener spec, and not something ridiculous like that Gamma racket, I'd probably buy it because there really aren't that many options out there, and I want to make sure that I'm trying what I can. But I've been really happy with the EZO 98, and then the VCORE 98 came out, and I just, on paper they're such similar rackets, but after months of trying to get the VCORE 98 Plus to be a racket that I feel like, I could either switch to or be happy with alongside my EZO 98, I'm deciding to sell it now. And the main reason is because I just can't get it to feel like it goes through the ball very well. And the interesting thing is that on paper, these rackets are virtually identical besides like the beam width. The string pattern's the same, the head size is the same, the weight, the balance, the flex, and the swing weight. All those things are the same. And if you look really closely, actually, if I turn the racket out like this and I line up the heads, maybe if you look through the E-zone, you won't really be able to see the VCORE, but if you look through the VCORE, you can see the E-zone. And the reason is because the beam is a little bit thinner and it's actually extended in certain portions that kind of open up the surface area of the string bed a little bit more than it does on the E-zone. So even though they are the same head size, I would say that the string bed surface area on the VCORE is slightly larger, and the string pattern is slightly more open. Besides that and the little bit of a difference in beam thickness at certain points in the racket, they're virtually the same racket. But my experience with them is not the same at all, actually. I feel like a lot of the times, like maybe for 90% of my tennis, they feel similar, but there's this 10%. And it's really when I'm trying to smack the ball, like really hit heavy through the ball, the VCORE 98 just feels like it kind of flops or falls short in some kind of way, and the E-zone doesn't. The E-zone really comes through and it returns the power that I give it in a sense, whereas the VCORE just seems to fail to keep up after a certain point. And after months of trying to get to know this racket and understand what it offers as opposed to what the EZO 98 offers, I really don't know why one should choose the VCORE 98 over the EZO 98. I just don't get it. I just thought maybe it offers a little bit more spin or something, but I don't feel that way. I don't. I just thought maybe it would because it's a slightly more open string pattern or something, but I just don't. I really just feel like this racket is almost the same as the E-zone, but there's like a loss of power, and it's not the kind of loss of power that you sort of trade off for control or something. It's literally just like weaker. It feels light. Even though it's not any lighter, it just feels lighter on contact, like it struggles to go through the ball. It's a nice racket. I just don't know why anyone would or should choose it over the EZO 98. And I don't want to go into too much this and that about the two rackets because, again, they're so similar. But that is the main difference I notice. It's just that loss in power for no reason that I can really understand. I think a lot of people really love the VCORE 95, but this is not the VCORE 95. This is the VCORE 98, and I have the extended length version. So everything I'm saying is for the extended length, but besides the fact that it's a ½ inch longer, it's basically the same racket. So I tried the standard length 98 and I felt the same way, but I felt like, adding an extra ½ inch will give it some kind of heft on the swing weight and stuff, and it does. Like this definitely hits a little bit better than the standard length version does, but that's just because of the weight. There's still something characteristically about this racket that just doesn't go through the ball as nicely as the E-zone does. And again, I don't feel like there's any trade-off where you're willing to accept that because something else comes into play that works in your favor. It literally just feels like it's not doing one thing as well, and everything else about this racket is just as good as this racket, except one or two things are a little better on this racket. So I really don't know why you would choose the VCORE 98 over the EZO 98. So that is my advice to you. If you are between these two rackets or you're looking for an extended length version of some racket to try out, I highly recommend the EZO 98 Plus. If you guys want to see some future videos, I'm going to be using this extended butt cap. It's going to add a ½ inch to whatever racket you install it on. So that opens up the windows a little bit, or the doors I should say, I don't know. But it's by XTP, and I'm going to be putting it on the new VCORE Pro 97 that I ordered, and see if making that a ½ inch longer way of a butt cap extension. See how that plays out, and if it turns out to be a racket I actually like. It's possible that I'm going to keep this just so I can kind of compare the VCORE 98 to the VCORE Pro 97, but I've had this racket for a long time and I mostly know how I feel about it, so I'd rather just compare the VCORE Pro to the E-Zone 98 and see how I feel about those two. But I'm going to be selling this racket because I just don't know why I would use it. So I guess that's the end of this video for now, but yeah, stay tuned and subscribe to see more string reviews and see about that extended butt cap thing by XTP. Yeah, I'll see you guys in a future video. Take care.